Hi, I'm your host, CJ Magavero. Today we're back in the Artful Deposit Gallery. I'm located at 201 Farnsworth Avenue in historic and beautiful Bordentown City, New Jersey. And what I'd like to do today is go over the acquiring and purchasing of unframed pieces of art, and then we will actually go over to the framer together. A lot of the time, most galleries, when you walk in, obviously have their framed pieces up on the wall. But some artists do produce quite a bit of unframed work, and the artist doesn't always want to assume the cost of framing. So they will put them in either shrink wrap, which is something like this right here. Just basically, it's plastic wrap. Now, this is an original piece of art by a Mercer County-based artist, Hanneke Deneuve, but she happens to enjoy an international reputation. This is an original piece of art right here, and it's called Waiting. It's a hand-colored monotype, and it is valued at $125. I'm going to show you later how I would frame that when we would go over to Shop 202. Not all artists have their work available unframed, but it's always good to ask. You never know. For example, this is an emerging artist, Erica O'Rourke. She has and enjoys a very significant reputation in the graphic design and website and book illustration world, but now has emerged onto the scene as a selling and showing artist. She is a fine art photographer as well as a painter and a ceramicist. So she's really quite a Renaissance person, and she's a dear friend as well. This is a piece, a signed and numbered photograph, a limited edition, which what we're telling you, there will only be 25 of them, and this is part of that numbered series. This piece is offered unframed for $100 and framed for $135. So what you need to ask yourself, if you like the way that this looks, if you enjoy the visual, for $35 you can take it home that day and you can hang it up. It's all properly backed. It has all acid-free materials. So again, that's a really wonderful price for a whole finished framed piece of art. This is something that Hanneke Deneuve, again, had given me for my birthday. It's an original watercolor. I brought this over to Shop 202. What I decided on was a very beautiful decorative molding. I didn't even need a mat, but it was all properly backed and it has all acid-free materials, and this cost $41 to have it framed. So the piece was gifted to me. I'm very fortunate for that. But for $41, it is just beautifully, beautifully framed. When we go over there, you will see there's a lot of options. You can pick molding, which you'll see us do, and that is for custom framing. Tom also has what we call stock frames. These are prefab sizes. They're already assembled. They're often standard size frames, and they're readily very affordable. This one is a 12 by 16 in size, and it retails for $28. This one is a little heavier and maybe a more expensive molding. This has a prefab size of 9 3/4 by 14, so not quite standard, and this would sell for $60. Now, what I would certainly consider doing, look at this. If I took this piece, now I have a $60 frame, I put a $125 original in it, and all I need is for Tom to cut a mat of my choice and some glass and some installation from start to finish for right around $200, which is just an exceptional way to have it framed. I want to show you something that is from my home in our collection. Leon and I, for our wedding, signed photograph by Ron Trutch, who is a Philadelphia photographer, And Leon and I selected this piece of art to put into a stock frame. What I did was, we purchased this at the gallery. It sells for $50. I went over to Tom, and just like I was speaking of before, this is a prefab, or it's already sized, and it already existed, and we just sort of put the photograph into the frame, and I chose a faux silk mat, and I chose a fillet, which is just really a strip of plastic or wood, which gives the piece of art a very nice border or outline. This entire framing cost $105. So it was $50 for the piece, and to frame it, it was $105. So for $155, you get a gorgeous presentation, and the piece is framed safely, and it has a beautiful, elegant presence in your home. Okay, now here's going to be the fun part. I am going to select one piece of art that I want you and I to be able to own and frame everything for under $100, and another piece of art that I would like for us to be able to own and frame for right around $500, depending on what we select when we go over to Shop 202 to select our custom framing. This is a beautiful photographic poster by Louise Reeves. It was done primarily to honor the 325th anniversary of Bordentown City. We celebrated that in 2007. These are a lot of beautiful and colorful doors that are on some of our gorgeous houses here. Anyway, we wanted to offer something for the residents, something commemorative of the year, for people to be able to come in, afford to own, maybe give as a gift. Huge gift-giving thing around Christmas. That was wonderful. I sell this signed by the photographer for $50. Okay, so we will be bringing this over to Shop 202 in a little bit. And I selected a second piece. This is a signed and numbered limited edition print by Gennady Spirin. Gennady Spirin is probably one of the most talented artists I've ever met in my lifetime. He is an illustrator of children's books. He has won numerous international awards, including Best Illustrated Book by the New York Times twice, and the International Society of Illustrators celebrates an artist every year with the Golden Apple Award, and he has won that, I believe, 4 times. I am honored to say that I am one of the owners of a Gennady Spirin original. If you could see in here, I own the border piece from A Christmas Story. And this book is also signed by the artist. Quite often, because Mr. Spirin resides right in Princeton and I represent him, he comes here for book signings, and my counterpart, Tatiana Popova, she also helps to represent Mr. Spirin's work. We come here, you can get to meet him. We often have his most current book available for your purchase, $16.99. It has an original signature by him. Some people love to just collect the books. I mean, I think they're gorgeous. All of the paintings in here, in their original form, were primarily watercolors. I am going to show you the back of this book is what we put into signed and numbered limited edition print. His originals are worth quite a bit of money. They're thousands of dollars because they're extraordinary, and that is what that artist can command in his career. That's why these signed and numbered limited edition prints are an exceptional way to own a piece of art that has an original signature by the artist. We sell this print of Percival for $295 unframed. So this is a little bit more of an investment. It's, again, there will only be 100 of them in this series. We are going to be framing number 1 of the whole limited edition, which is exciting for the owner.